Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about Where the Crawdads Sing. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. This is based off of a best-selling book, a global best-selling phenomenon, as the poster says. A book that I've never read, so I can't really judge it. But apparently, the book has a massive fan base, which is a good thing. Obviously, like you want if you're gonna do like a book to film adaptation, you need to make sure people know what the book is. That way, there's some brand recognition attached to it. So it seems like that's the case here. So that's good. That's a pro. People know what this is, so that's a pro. So that's pro number one. Pro number two. When it comes to direct competition, there's not a whole lot out right now, especially for the target audience this movie has, which is women. Yes, there's Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, but nobody's gonna watch that. So the only other movie that shares this movie's audience is like Elvis, and Elvis is like 4 weeks old. So yeah, naturally they're gonna flock to this. That the older women are gonna flock to this because they haven't really been showing up much through like this new era we've been in. Like pretty much every other audience has shown up. Like males 18 to 34, and then the family audiences are back. Now it's just time to get that older audience to show up, and they've been showing up. Top Gun Maverick proved it. Elvis has proved it, and this could also prove it that they are truly back for good. So yeah, having lack of direct competition is a good thing. So that's a pro. Another pro I can think of is that its Thursday preview numbers are a lot better than I expected. I had a sinking feeling that this movie was gonna tank, but these preview numbers suggest otherwise. It did 2.3 million in preview numbers, which let's compare. It's hard trying to figure out what I can compare this to. I mean, like the main movies I would compare this to, I guess the main movie would be Girl on the Train. I think is a reasonable enough comparison. And there's also Gone Girl too. I guess there's that. And what's really weird is that this is a summer movie, while those two movies were like October movies. So I don't get why this had to be a summer movie, like a big summer movie with a prime summer date. I don't really get that. But let's look at Gone Girl. Gone Girl, movie I really really like. That had a preview number of 1.2 million, and it made like 37 million opening weekend. And then Girl on the Train. Is there a preview number for that? So I'm about to find out. Okay, good. 1.23 million, and I opened with 24 million. Now, granted, sure, Where the Crawdads Sings previews are twice as much as those, but Where the Crawdads Sings has a summer date. Those had a fall date. It's much easier to get into Thursday night showings in the summer than the fall. So I'm not expecting this to reach those levels. But this is still a positive development. It proves that this movie won't be a total embarrassment. So that's a pro. Pretty decent preview numbers. I think that's it for pros. Okay, cons. Reviews for this movie are not good. They're like at 31% on Rotten Tomatoes last I checked, which is a big yikes. But that bad 32%. But that hasn't stopped movies like this before. Girl on the Train didn't get good reviews either, but it's still open with $24 million. So this movie could defy the odds. And besides, reviews, the audience score seems to be very good. It's at 93%. So this is clearly one of those situations where critics don't like it, but audiences do. So in reality, critic reviews won't matter very much. But still, I labeled it as a con. Any other cons I can think of? I guess the book to film adaptation genre is really just kind of Uh, it's kind of died. Like, remember freaking it was like a decade ago. Like, book to film adaptations were just everywhere. Mainly young adult adaptations, but still, they were popping up all over the place. Freaking Harry Potter, Twilight, Hunger Games, and then it just all died. But like with these more adult book to film adaptations, they're still around. I mean, Gone Girl, Girl on the Train, for examples, they did really well. So yeah, I think that whole genre is just kind of existing. It's not really thriving. It's just existing. So yeah, the genre has definitely seen better days. So that's a con, but it's not clearly not hurting this movie. But still, I label it as a con. I guess another con is lack of star power. I guess. I guess there's like Daisy Edgar Jones. Has she ever done anything? No, no. This apparently is our first major movie, so can't really say that about her. But you call her a draw yet? But granted, star power hasn't hurt a lot of these movies before, these type of movies before. But it's better to have star power than no star power at all. Usually, sometimes, but yeah, I guess I'd label that as a con. But a lot of these cons aren't really strong cons anyway. They're more like minor cons. And I think that's it. So, opening weekend. Originally, I thought this movie was gonna just plummet, just like less than $10 million, or maybe like just above 10 million. But these preview numbers tell me a different story. They tell me, I should really, I should really up my prediction. I should really increase it, but I don't know by how much. I think because of the pre-established fan base this thing has, it's going to be a little front-loaded, but not super front-loaded. So I'm going to predict between 15 and 20 million for this movie opening weekend. It'll easily be the new the new big movie of the weekend. It won't be number one. That'll be Thor: Love and Thunder. Or it won't even be number two. That'll be Minions 2. But it should at least be a strong number 3. So it's definitely got that going for it. And its legs, I don't know. They could be strong. They could be somewhat long. Because again, lack of direct competition. And the movie only cost like $43.7 million. So it's not like a super expensive movie. So I can see this hitting between 40 and 50 million domestic. As long as it does well overseas, it'll be fine. And yeah, that's it. That's really it. So yeah. So that's Where the Crawdads Sings. And that's it for the weekend. That's all. Yeah. So that's it. Pretty uneventful weekend. Nothing really super exciting to watch or talk about. But thankfully next weekend we have a far more interesting movie to talk about. Only one, but it's still big. And that movie is Nope from Jordan Peele. That should be interesting to talk about because never talked about a Jordan Peele movie before. I literally did prediction videos. I did like summer 2019 prediction videos. I didn't even bother with Spring, so I wasn't able to talk about Us. But I'm able to talk about Nope now. So that should be real interesting. So stay tuned for that video. And then after that, I do DC League of Super Pets and Vengeance. And then that's it for July. Yeah, July. Not a whole lot of movies came out, but we had like our last gasp of blockbuster hood for a while in the form of Minions 2 and Thor: Love and Thunder. So at least we got that. But anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage of all previous prediction videos I made this year. All types of movies, big movies, small movies, mid-sized movies like this. So, want to watch any of them? You can go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come up but didn't. I believe I covered Where the Crawdads Sings once. Pretty sure I did. Yeah, once. It was episode 94. I talked about it alongside Memory, Bullet Train, Fast 10, The Bride, which is now called The Invitation. Covered it then, so you want to watch that episode, that's episode 94. But like any other episodes I've done, all 138 up to this point, go right ahead. Binge it from beginning to now. Highly encourage it. And there's also the recap, box office recaps, where I go over the box office results for any particular month. July recap will come out first week of August, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I've done on this channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.